Now, in 7.6, we're going to start first with some expressions and then some equations. Now, the difference between expression and equation, an equation has an equal sign in there. So, looking at my example B, I'm going to call that an equation. My example A, I'm going to call an expression because it doesn't have an equal sign. As a matter of fact, an equation, what it does, it has an equal sign and two expressions, one on each side of the equal sign. Once again, an expression is just operations that we do in math. Now, an equation is it has an equal sign somewhere in there. An equation we can solve, an expression we cannot solve. We can just simplify an expression. All right, so looking at here, our thing is looking at example A. I don't have an equal sign, so I cannot solve it, but at least let me simplify it. When we have an x at the side, it is considered to be on the top. Looking at my denominators, 4 and 3, I'm going to say my least common denominator is 12. So I'm going to write my 12. That's my least common denominator. It seems like on my first fraction, I'm missing a 3, right? From my factors, in order for them to be 12, I'm missing a 3. It seems like my second fraction, I'm going to multiply everything by 4 on the top. So for my first fraction, once again, the x is considered to be on top. So multiply the 3 times 3x, and I'm going to get 9x on the top. Minus, for the second fraction, 2 times 4, that gives me 8x, because I'm considering the x on top. 9x minus 8x on the top, that can be simplified to just 1x over 12. I simplify the fraction. That's expression A. That's just an expression. Now looking at B, it has an equal sign, so I should be able to solve. Now my expression on the left side, 3/4 x minus 2 over 3x, I'm just going to say that simplifies to x over 12, right? That's expression A, so example A. So I'm not going to do it again. But we know that simplifies to x over 12, and I'm saying in this case is equal to 1 over 2. Simplify the expression that you have, well, the expressions that you have as much as you can. All you want is one fraction equals another fraction. Now, in this case, I'm looking at my least common denominator. In this case is 12. I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. I'm going to get rid of fractions. Well, remember when we do here, I'm going to go 12 divided by 12. My result, I'm going to multiply to the top. So I get an x on top. Here I go 12 divided by 2. My result multiplied to the top. And I get that x is equal to 6. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is have your two fractions have a common denominator and let the numerators equal each other. Now here, the left side can be simplified, right? X over 3 plus x over 4. That can be simplified. I'm going to say my least common denominator in this case is 12. The first fraction, I'm going to multiply by 4. The second fraction, I'm going to multiply by 3. So I have, on the first fraction, I have 4x plus 3x. So I'm going to say that fraction can be simplified to 7x over 12. Now, the right side of the equal sign, it's already simple. So, matter of fact, let me call this 10 plus x over 1, just to see it as a fraction. Looking at my denominators, 12 and 1, I'm going to say my least common denominator is 12. Let me multiply both sides by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. My result multiplied to the top, 7x. Now here, keep in mind there's a plus sign, so be careful with that. I'm going to go 12 divided by 1 is 12. Multiplied times 10, I'd get 120. 12 divided by 1 is 12. Multiplied with x, I get 12x. So make sure you do 12 divided by 1, and your result you multiply with 10 and you multiply with x. You have to multiply to both because of the plus sign in between. Okay. So I have the 7x equals 120 plus 12x. I have x's on the left, so I might as well let me move this 12x to the left as a minus 12x. So 7 minus 12, that is negative 5x, is equal to 120. Let me divide both sides by a negative 5 to get the x by itself. We're going to get x is equal to negative 24. Here, actually, on my math lab, you're going to have to check the solution. All it says is x equals negative 24. Plug it into all your values of x, and you're going to end up getting an answer for the left. You're going to get an answer for the right. You're going to end up noticing that they are the same thing. You don't have to check it on the quiz or test. Now here, I'm going to simplify the left. There's one way I can do. I can simplify the left. I can make it into just one fraction. Let's do that. My least common denominator on the left will be 6. So I'm going to say my least common denominator is 6. I had to multiply the top by 3. I had to multiply this by 2. So I have 3p. Now, this negative, let me put it with the 2. Okay, because I have to do something with that minus sign. So negative 2 times p gives me negative 2p. Negative 2 times 1 gives me a positive 2. And this is all equal to 1. I want it as a fraction, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to do 1 over 1. Okay, so I have this. Let me get rid of fractions. Well, actually, simplify the left still. 3p minus 2p. I'm going to call this p plus 2 over 6 is equal to 1 over 1. Okay, get rid of fractions. Multiplied everything by 6, because that way I can do 6 divided by 6 is 1 times p. 6 divided by 6 is 1 times 2. 6 divided by 1 is 6 times the top. So I have the p plus 2 is equal to 6. Then we can agree here that p is equal to 4. Right, subtract 2 from each side. So far, everything's okay because we haven't had an exponent at the bottom. Or not exponent, but a variable, a letter. We haven't had a letter at the bottom. A problem is when we have a letter at the bottom. Let me start part 2 of this video having a letter at the bottom.